Hi everyone and welcome to Club 5 Episode 7 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM22 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, the Premier League's really difficult. We've been promoted with Watford into the Premier League. We've played about 6 or 7 matches. We've won one, lost the rest, got through a couple of rounds in the cup competition, but been drawn next up against Man City there as well. Help! So, being honest, I kind of expected it, if I'm totally honest with you. Watford were always going to struggle in this first season. The only thing I would say, I don't know if you experience this when you get promoted into the top flight of a league like this with a club, it kind of feels like there's more in my team somewhere that I'm not able to find at the moment, that they are slightly better on paper than they're currently showing in the games that we play. But that's just an aside. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. We'll move forward as the season progresses and probably reshape things if and when we need to. But for now, it's just been a little bit tricky. If we go straight into the fixture list, this is what we've played so far. Leicester, Southampton, Villa, Fulham, Arsenal and Wolves in the Premier Division. And we've only got one win from that, and that was a good 2-0 win against Villa that we couldn't then capitalise on against Fulham, and I was a little bit disappointed by that result. Other than that, there's been some tricky teams in there. We beat Woking in the Cup, followed by Newcastle, who are our opponents today in the league. That's not great because we beat them. They're going to want to get revenge, and they're currently sitting in second position in the league as well. So they're a decent side. If they put their number one starting lineup out, we might be in trouble today. And if you notice a couple of games from now too, we get the likes of West Ham, City, Tottenham and Man United all in a row as well. Things don't get any easier at all. If we can find a way to finish in 17th place this season and stay up, I will absolutely take it at this point. Currently, if we go into the league itself and have a look there, you will see that we are sitting in... You can't see, it's behind my face cam. We're sitting in 17th, just so you know. Huddersfield, Bournemouth and Leeds below us. Fulham, Burnley just above us. Along with Man United as well. They're not having a brilliant start this season so far. 2 wins, 1 draw and 3 losses for them. So things have changed in the Premier League a little bit over the last few seasons, it feels like. The likes of Newcastle, Southampton are supposedly 2 of the better sides in the league. Although it's early days and it's very, very too early to tell exactly who's going to come to the fore. At the moment, some interesting teams around at different spots in the league. For our point of view, though, all we have to do is find a way to get some points on the board and get a little momentum in our play. Can we do that today against Newcastle? Maybe. Let's find out. So straight away, you'll notice that we've got a few injuries just at the moment. Turner, Nakai, Mosquera, Douglas and George all out with injuries. Not for long, but just unsettled the first team just a little bit, unfortunately. We've had to bring a few replacements in and around that in the last couple of games, which is just unfortunate at this point in the season, but that's why we have the squad, of course. So the only other thing that I can tell you, and it's a recurring theme, I want to know from you in the comments below, is there a position in your starting lineup or in your formation and tactic, let's say, that you can't find a person to perform well in? And it's still my left fullback. Fowlon at a 6.6. His replacement is Bakker, and he is down on the sub bench, and he's got a 6.5. Whoever I put in this left fullback position just is not able to play well at all. I've been through about 4 now since I moved to Watford, and it's driving me a little bit nuts, if I'm honest. Now, the thing I would tell you is that the rest of the team aren't playing brilliantly anyway. Obviously, look at the results that we've got. But it's just that one spot. Everybody else is on anywhere from a 6.7 to a 6.9 or up to a 7.1. So you can see that we've got quite a number of good performances. The blokes on the bench that have got higher than that played the likes of Woking in the league, and that's why they've got a slightly distorted average rating potentially, but other than that, it's been a real struggle. The one player we are really going to miss today is Kyo George. He has started very well for us. He has got a 7.2 average rating, 3 goals in 4 games, mostly in the Premier Division because we rested him for the cup matches, etc. So he's the one player playing in this pressing forward role that we are really going to miss today. But Soto comes in and hopefully he can do the business for us. So against Newcastle, we beat them once this season in the cup. They're going to want to get revenge. It could be a painful day. Let's see how we get on with Mamadashvili in goal, Mendes at right back, Fowlon at left back, Collins and Ryan in central defence, Vieira, Kamara and Kerbelik in central midfield, Milicio in the shadow striker role with Soto and Scarlett ahead of him, and a bunch of blokes on the bench ready to make an impact if we need them to. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So, having so far this season tried shouting at them, wrapping my arm around them, everything in between, today I thought I'd just take it nice and easy, no real gesture, so it's very chilled out, and just say nobody expects us to get anything. Go out there, enjoy playing without the pressure on you, and let's see if that frees them up for a good performance in this particular fixture. Of course, this is going to be difficult. Newcastle are in second position in the league. They are at home as well. They're going to want revenge on what we did to them in the cup competition. And they've got some really great players. I mean, for goodness sake, their striking partnership is Isak and Vlahovic. How are we supposed to cope with that? But we have to. So here we go. Let's see how we get on. In the first 15 minutes, to be fair, it's actually been very quiet. Not a lot happening. We've had 1 shot at goal each, 1 shot on target each, and nothing else to speak of. And the first highlight comes at 21 minutes, and it's for Newcastle United. And they launch out to Vlahovic, but we win the ball, and we keep the ball brilliantly, and very quickly get a chance ourselves, and it goes over the top of the bar from Scarlett. I feel like that's where we are losing some of these points a little bit. We are creating chances, while I try and get my words out. We're not quite as clinical as I'd like us to be. It feels like maybe in the Scarlett role, we need to find somebody that's a little bit better in terms of the conversion of chances than we've currently got. And if we could do that, we are creating the chances. So let's see how we get on with that as the season progresses. But we go 1-0 down. Vlahovic involved in the play, but it's Leon Bailey, who they've obviously signed over from Aston Villa in the last few seasons, gets on the end of it. A good throw-in. We don't really ever close them down enough. We're always kind of just chasing shadows a little bit. And Bailey's just kind of stood in the middle of our penalty box with nobody marking him. And we go 1-0 down because of it, just before half-time as well. Little bit disappointing that we couldn't quite get through to half-time at 0-0 and give ourselves something to fight for in this second half. I mean, we've still got it. Of course we have. But it's now slightly harder. They did pick up the pace a little bit. Their possession stats increased a lot. They got 8 shots at goal, 6 on target, 2 and 1 for us. Their XG rating is still not very high, though. So it's just another game in the Premier League. This is what we get, especially in this first season or so. This is what it's going to be like all the way through the season. We're just going to have to grind out a couple of bits and pieces here and there and just see if we can find any way to get to the points total that we need. Mostly they say somewhere between about 38 and 40 points will keep you in the Premier League. So that is my only aim at this point. We've got 3 of them so far. Long way to go. So let's see how we go in this second half. We can't really dig them out too much. We didn't have a huge expectation on them in the first place. So we're going to remain fairly chilled out. I think we'll go hands together. Show me something else in the second half. Just see what we can do with that. And then we're going to go into the shouts and try and fire them up a little bit as we start the second half. See if that will get any form of kind of passion in their play or get them moving the ball quicker or something. Malicio from the shadow striker role gets through. I think he was offside. It kind of looked like that early. He wasn't, apparently. It went out for a corner kick. Vieira into the near post. These are the chances. And again, this is the problem that we've got. When we were winning in the Championship, you would put that ball into that near post area, and one of our defenders would get on the end of it, and we'd score a few goals from them. And so far this season, we put them in the near post. Forget all of that. Scarlett scores instead. Brilliant move. Good ball movement as long as he was onside, and I think he was. We just caught them out a little bit. Some quick ball. It's disallowed. That is so frustrating. I thought we'd got found our way through here. Where did he go? He went just slightly too early. Little bit unlucky, I think. But yeah, whichever way we go, at the moment, it just isn't quite working out for us. As I say, it is kind of what I expected for this season in the Premier League. And there's Newcastle having a go at the near post corner. They just about get it on target. We clear the ball and we get very lucky there to remain in possession. But Scarlett has done so, switches to play over to the far side. Vieira tries to hook the ball into the penalty box and it gets blocked and they counter really quickly. But fortunately, foul on, the much maligned foul on, Ashley does a good job in figuring that one out for us and clearing the danger. And now he gets a left-sided throw-in. Malicio takes over Scarlett past the defender in the box, and he does put it away. This time, I'm convinced that that was actually a goal, and there's no issue with that one. He's done all right. He heard me talking smack about him earlier and telling you that he wasn't converting his chances, and now he gets a really good one. He's got a lot of work to do when he first picks up the ball here, but just about gets enough bend and enough width on that shot to go round the goalkeeper and curl it into that far corner. And we do go to 1-1. And again, we've got a left-sided throw-in. It's a bit further back from this time. The goalkeeper clears brilliantly. Kubilic takes over in the centre of midfield and drives down the left-hand side, gets a left-footed cross in. It clears everybody and Newcastle clear it. That's disappointing again. It's just those little moments of quality that we don't quite have at the moment. Are we going to win the ball back where we don't? Newcastle have switched the play from left to right, and there's the cross to the far post. And somehow, from about a foot inside the byline on that far side, Vlahovic gets his head on the ball, squeezes it into the near post. The goalkeeper scrambling across his goal to get across there and just gets his positioning wrong. He's too far out from the goal. He should have been hugging that near post at that point and didn't quite get the angles right. And we go 2-1 down at 68 minutes. After this highlight, we're going to make a couple of personnel changes just to see if we can get some fresh legs in for the last 20 minutes or so. We could have been 3-1 down before that. Isak has a really good chance and heads it at goal. I think it hit the post rather than the goalkeeper and it goes out. So we got to go and make some changes. We've got some tired players a little bit. We've got a yellow card to think about and some poor ratings, to be honest. Again, right the way across the back line, 6.6 through 6.7, 6.5. That's where we're struggling. And up top as well, Soto, 6.4. Kubilic in the centre of midfield, 6.5. There's some poor performances. The only players playing well are the goalkeeper and Scarlett. Scarlett got our goal, and the goalkeeper, Mamadashvili, has managed to save us from a couple of goals. So other than that, we need to basically change everybody. Can we change the rules? Don't think we can. Anyway, let's do this. Let's figure out what to do. Kubilic's come in recently. He's not having the best of days. Giabi comes in instead and plays that role for the rest of the game. We had to drop Vieira back into midfield rather than the shadow striker role because we were lacking a couple of our midfield players. He's doing all right. I think I'm going to have to leave him there, basically, because we've got what we've got available to us. What else can I do? I mean, we could change out Soto, potentially. I could do that. We could change out the fullbacks and get some energy down the left and the right-hand side. Foul on again. Although we saw him do one good bit of stuff, he's had on a 6.5, but he's got some good conditioning, so don't really want to do that. We're going to take the right fullback out, the right centre-back out, should I say, not fullback, because he's got a yellow card and we need to keep 10 men on the pitch. And then we're going to take one of these two central midfielders out only because of the conditioning that they've got. We need to keep them as fit and healthy as is possible. So Jackson's going to come in and Kamara's going to come out. So that's the change that we're going to make. It's not particularly impactful, you would think, moving forward, but it might just give us a little bit more bite and energy in midfield specifically to keep competing as much as we can in and around that area of the pitch. So let's see how we go. So we're going to go into the shouts. We're going to demand more from them. Last 15 or so minutes of the game, plus a little bit of injury time. Can we hang in there? They've had loads of shots now. 18 shots at goal, 10 on target, 7 and 2 for us. And that is the big problem, isn't it? If we were up to like 7 and 4, maybe we could ask for another goal. But 2 shots on target for a 90-minute match, it's not really good enough at this level of football, is it? And Newcastle come again. We win the ball. Scarlett finds that loose ball, turns and charges down the left-hand side. Probably should have held it up a little bit sooner than that and tried to wait for some support. He tried to do it all on his own and he got found out again. We win the ball back again, though, really surprisingly. And there is Scarlett. Through on goal. Can he put it away? Wow, I take everything back, Scarlett. You're a magnificent player. You're doing really well. Keep doing what you're doing. In the 93rd minute, we find a way to win the ball back, and quite quickly, Soto, in the middle of the park, sees the run of Scarlett, threads it through the eye of the needle. Scarlett past the defence, dinks it over the top of the goalkeeper who came charging out, and we go to 2-2 with seconds remaining. Can we get a draw here? At St James's Park, we do. That is a result I was not expecting. I thought that for a lot of the game, we were a little bit passive, not particularly in their faces enough, and ultimately didn't seem to have the quality when those really big moments came. But Scarlett proved otherwise. Milicio with an assist, Soto with an assist, so that front three did pretty well, even though their average ratings don't always necessarily show it. But there you go. Mamadashvili in goal, 7.9 average rating for the game. And Scarlett with 2 goals, including that last second one, 9.2 average rating. Couple more of him in my side, and we might have got somewhere. Who knows? That's a really good point for us. Doesn't feel like it necessarily all the way through the season when we're picking up random points and then going on 2 or 3 game losses, but it's really very important that we find them where we can. And this sort of occasion away from home at St James's Park against second in the league, these are the ones we weren't supposed to be getting anything from. So a bonus point, I will happily take it. Onwards we go to the next game. Not bad, really. So whilst that point hasn't actually put us up into a higher position in the league, what it does do is it just keeps us in contention to try and stay there with the likes of Fulham and Burnley directly ahead of us. 3 points clear of us at the moment, and a couple of other teams just a point or two above them. We're just about hanging on in there just at the moment. And what it does demonstrate, again, Fulham, 15th place in the league, 3 points clear of us. That's why I was so disappointed when we got so comprehensively beaten by them earlier in the season. Those are the sorts of games where if you're going to stay up, you kind of have to find something from, and we haven't done that so far. But we did get a really valuable point against Newcastle United at the top of the table. So we will happily take that. But just for now, it still feels like at the moment that we're going to be involved in this relegation fight all the way through. And we're going to absolutely have to scratch and claw for every single point that we get. So let's get back into the schedule, see what we've got coming up and find our next opponent for the next episode. What I would say at this point, I hope you'll understand, is that there's not an awful lot of point, really, in me showing you all of the games against all of the really mega clubs in the division. The likes of Man City, Man United, Liverpool, all those kinds of guys. If we just put all of those on the episodes, we'll lose every single game on all of the episodes, and it will feel a little bit of a trudge, to be honest. So we're going to focus this season more on the teams that maybe we should be doing something against. So the one that we're going to come back for next episode is this Bournemouth game at the start of December. We're going to play Bournemouth away from home, and then the following episode we'll probably play the last of the calendar year against Everton at home, just because it will be the game before we go into the transfer window, and I'll see whether I can tinker in the transfer window and get us anything in between episodes. So between now and the Bournemouth game, I've got the likes of Burnley to play directly ahead of us in the league. Probably should have played that one on today's episode, but you live and learn. Then we have that run of West Ham, Man City, Tottenham, Man United. Then Huddersfield, again, that kind of game we have to be looking to get something from, along with the likes of Birmingham away from home in the next episode. So that's what's coming up. If I could find a way to get maybe, let's say, a draw and a win against Burnley and Huddersfield, and maybe a point somewhere in the other games, I'll be absolutely ecstatic with that in the next sort of 4 or 5 fixtures. So we'll see how we go, and then we play Bournemouth and see if we can win a game on the episodes. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's going to do it for today. It's a tricky league, this one, to step up into. Even if the club have been here recently, they sold over £200 million worth of talent before I even got to the club, after they left the Premier League last time. So it's really tricky to rebuild them and get them back to where I want them to be. But we're doing all right. We're outside of the relegation just at the moment, and let's see if we can stay there. Thank you for joining me today. Really appreciate it. I hope I'll see you again very soon. Till then, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That will help me get seen by more people. Until next time, as my dog barks for no apparent reason, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.